don't often hear the presidents of the United States airing unvarnished opinions about the Fed and what it ought to do, but nonetheless, that's what we had from President Trump today in his interview with Joe Kernan here at the White House. Here's what the president said earlier this afternoon.
I put a very good man in the Fed. I don't necessarily agree with it because he's raising interest rates. I'm not saying that I agree with it, and I don't necessarily agree with it. I must tell you, I don't. I'm not thrilled because, you know, we go up, and every time you go up, they want to raise rates again. And I don't really, I am not happy about it. But at the same time, I'm letting them do what they feel is best. But I don't like all of this work that goes into doing what we're doing. You look at the euro, you look at what's going on with the EU, and they're not doing what we're doing, and we already have somewhat of a disadvantage, although I'm turning that into an advantage. You know, last year and for years, we've been losing $150 billion with the EU nations, with the European Union. And they're making money easy, and their currency is falling. And China, their currency is dropping like a rock, and our currency is going up. And I have to tell you, it puts us at a disadvantage. Now, I'm just saying the same thing that I would have said as a private citizen. So somebody would say, oh, maybe you shouldn't say that as a president. I couldn't care less what they say, because my views haven't changed. I don't like all of this work that we're putting into the economy, and then I see rates going up. I see China where I mean, look at what's happening with their currency. It's dropping like a rock.
So those comments got enormous reaction around the world of finance. A lot of critics suggesting there that the president was sort of treading on the independence of the Fed in the minutes and hour after those comments were released here on CNBC today. The White House put out an additional statement after that explaining, no, the president respects the independence of the Fed. They said what the president was doing here today, the White House clarified after that interview was released, was simply restating, as he said in the clip, restating his previously held views. And of course, this is not the first time that Donald Trump has criticized the Fed or the Fed chairperson. You remember back Janet Yellen back in 2016 during the campaign, the president was very, very critical of her, suggesting that she should be ashamed of herself for keeping interest rates so low in order to help Barack Obama during a presidential year sell his story on the economy. So this is not a man in Donald Trump, whether a candidate Trump or a President Trump, who's been shy about airing his views about the Fed. It's not something that we've seen other presidents do recently, but it's also not something that this president has shied away from at all. We'll see the full tape of that full interview tomorrow on Squawk Box at 6 a.m.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.